David Parker Ray, infamously known as the Toy Box Killer, stands as one of America's most disturbing criminals. His crimes are a haunting mix of horror and cruelty, leaving his victims and the nation scarred with memories of his twisted actions. Born in 1939 in Belen, New Mexico, Ray's upbringing was tumultuous, marked by abuse and neglect. His father was reportedly abusive, and Ray's introduction to a dark and twisted worldview began early, reportedly even before he reached adolescence. As he grew older, he found himself drawn to increasingly violent and sadistic fantasies, setting the foundation for his later life as one of the nation's most terrifying predators. Ray's reign of terror took place in a seemingly innocent town called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, a quiet, unassuming desert community where no one suspected the evil lurking beneath the surface. For years, Ray meticulously created a torture chamber that he called his toy box, a soundproof trailer filled with devices specifically designed for torture. This 21-foot trailer was equipped with whips, chains, gags, and numerous other tools of torment. It's estimated that Ray spent more than $100,000 customizing his horrific playroom, with every instrument carefully crafted or selected for his sadistic purposes. The chilling details of Ray's crimes were only uncovered in 1999, when one of his victims, Cynthia Vigil, managed to escape his grasp. Vigil, who had been abducted and subjected to unspeakable horrors inside the toy box, found a way to break free when Ray momentarily left her unattended. Seizing her chance, she unlocked her restraints, fled the trailer, and ran for help. Her escape not only exposed Ray's terrifying world but also ignited a police investigation that revealed a pattern of torture and sadism that spanned many years and possibly dozens of victims. Through Vigil's testimony and the findings in Ray's trailer, investigators discovered audio tapes he would play for his victims as they woke up in captivity. In these tapes, Ray introduced himself as their captor and laid out in detail what they would experience. This was psychological torture at its worst, adding an extra layer of horror to his already unspeakable acts. The tapes and journals Ray left behind suggested a mind fixated on control, sadism, and meticulous planning. This was not a man acting on impulse but someone who had methodically crafted a personal hell for those he captured. Beyond the physical evidence, investigators faced another terrifying possibility, that Ray may have had accomplices. His girlfriend, Cindy Hendy, was arrested as an accomplice and later confessed to helping Ray abduct and torture women. She claimed that Ray had been torturing and killing for years and that his victims might number in the dozens, though these claims could never be fully verified. Hendy's testimony painted a picture of a man whose sadistic fantasies were not only deep-seated but fully realized through years of abduction, torture, and potentially murder. Though no bodies were ever found, Ray's journals mentioned over a dozen victims, and law enforcement officials believe he could have killed as many as 60 women. The lack of physical evidence complicated the case, making it difficult to charge him with murder. However, authorities uncovered more than enough evidence to convict him on charges of kidnapping, torture, and sexual assault. His journals, tapes, and the chilling contents of the toy box were enough to reveal the extent of his brutality and ensure that he would never again be free to prey upon innocent women. One of the most disturbing aspects of Ray's life was his ability to appear normal to those around him. By day, he worked as a mechanic for the State Park Service, blending into society with ease. Friends and neighbors described him as quiet and unassuming, a man who was somewhat private but gave no indication of his monstrous secret life. His duality, an ordinary, hard-working man by day and a sadistic torturer by night, demonstrates the terrifying reality that evil can sometimes hide in plain sight. During his trial, Ray attempted to deflect responsibility for his actions, blaming his violent fantasies on past abuse and substance use. However, his meticulously kept journals and carefully designed torture devices painted a different picture, one of premeditated cruelty that could not be explained away by personal trauma alone. His actions were calculated, and his crimes were committed with a level of organization and precision that suggested far more than a mere loss of control. Ray's crimes were the product of years of planning and an intense desire to exert power over others. In 2001, Ray was sentenced to 224 years in prison for his crimes. However, in a twist of fate, he died of a heart attack shortly after his sentencing, before he could fully serve his time behind bars. The abrupt end to his life deprived his surviving victims and their families of a full sense of justice, leaving lingering questions and unresolved pain. Ray's death did little to erase the trauma he inflicted, nor did it provide closure for the families of his suspected victims who were never located. Today, the legacy of the Toy Box Killer remains one of America's darkest stories. His case serves as a harrowing reminder of the hidden dangers that can exist in everyday life. The details of his crimes are a warning to others about the reality of people who harbor dark and violent secrets, even in the most unsuspecting places. The toy box itself has become an enduring symbol of horror, a physical representation of Ray's sadistic fantasies that continues to haunt those who know its story. Ray's crimes also shed light on the importance of listening to and believing victims of sexual assault and abduction. Vigil's escape and bravery in coming forward were instrumental in stopping Ray, and her courage saved others from suffering at his hands. Her experience underscores the resilience of survivors and the strength required to face trauma head-on, ultimately bringing a predator to justice. David Parker Ray's life and crimes remain infamous, a reminder of how monstrous deeds can lurk behind seemingly ordinary lives. His toy box, a place designed to cause maximum pain and fear, embodies the depravity he cultivated over decades. Though he is gone, the memory of his crimes endures, chilling anyone who learns of the horrors he inflicted. In examining his story, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, compassion for survivors, and the need for justice systems to act swiftly when confronted with such evil. The story of David Parker Ray, the Toy Box Killer, is a deeply disturbing tale of cruelty and darkness. For years, Ray hid in plain sight, harboring secrets that ultimately came to light through one woman's courageous escape. Though Ray is no longer alive, his twisted legacy remains a testament to the resilience of survivors and a reminder of the hidden horrors that exist in our world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, it really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Tap the bell to stay notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.